I said I was going to make another video on this bike because I'm almost done with it. We had to move some stuff, and as I told you guys, this is why you'll never make a living building these bikes. It costs this kid a ton of money, but he's putting it into the bike, and we reconfigured it, and we put on new brake handle, and then we have one as a throttle control over there, and we're going to try to figure out something for a back brake here later on when he recovers. He's going to be able to use it this way. But these wheels and stuff that like I have on there are proper for the power these bikes put out, because this is a very heavy bike. You're not just going to do it with a regular wheel. And then you guys that want to buy these kit bikes, right there's a crack in the frame, and I don't know how this light is going to work out for you guys to see that, but the frame is cracked. You want to buy this cheap Chinese junk, and you don't want to buy one of my bikes, but you know, you want to know if I got something from China for $2.99, it ain't going to happen. I'm not going to sell it here because that's the kind of stuff that you have to deal with, and I'm just not in the mood for it. I build my bikes on my frames, and I put the heavier wheels, and I build a hell of an engine, and I sell them, and people buy them. But I'd have to keep preaching to people about throwing your money in the street. I'm putting you guys on the tripod so I don't hurt anybody here. It's kind of crammed in here with my motorcycle and different stuff. But this is what I do during the winter. And I hope you're not looking at my kneecaps. Good going, Ace. What else do you guys want to screw with? The cats are bored. It's winter. I have my yarmulke on. Only kidding. These holiday videos, I get time around the holidays to tend to people's problems besides my own. I've had enough fires lit underneath my ass for 1 year. I'm glad 2019 is gone. And so far I'm starting out on a level playing field. I've worked out some problems that you ordinarily wouldn't do. Just like this bike. You want to start with that cheap Chinese junk, that's all up to you guys. Each and every one of you. I build a product that's like a Chevy. That's why I drive those Silverado trucks. The technology's simple enough once you get to understand it, and you can build off of that platform. You get these Fords and these Dodge trucks, and everything's a different individual freaking part. It's a nightmare. GM basically kept everything the same, except for that Super Sport truck I have. That thing's a nightmare. That's like owning a Ford or a Dodge, because every part that you go for from the parts store doesn't fit. It takes something special or something else from another type of vehicle. It was really disparaging putting that truck together. I mean, it's a beautiful truck, don't get me wrong, but suspension-wise, everything but the engine. The engine's basically the same. The cabin interior is basically the same, but everything from the windshield wiper to the suspension to the shock absorbers to the universal joints to the transmission, it's all different. It's all out the window. It's not a conventional Silverado. I build stuff that's like a conventional Silverado. You can continue to get parts from me. I'm here after all these years, and my phone doesn't ring all that often, and once people find out what it's costs, they go back to eBay for the better deal. The market is price driven. I understand a competitive market. I'm not out to be a competitor, and that's why I don't have a website, because every time I make something, the little slant-eyed toads over there in China, they copy it faster than I can actually make it. So I'm doing all the product research and development, and China's copying it, and I got my thing in my hand. So no more with that with websites or whatever. My phone rings. People do order stuff here. They order engines. The bad part of it is people aren't educated enough how to measure things, and then they get mad at me because it doesn't fit. That's part of that educational curve that went downhill. If you're going to work with something, you need to learn how to use a tape measure, a scale, a ruler, a vernier, and a mic. There's plenty of programs on YouTube. A lot of them go too fast. So as I develop, I'm getting another GoPro, which the batteries last longer, and different things. Maybe I can do a comprehensive video, because like I said, some of this stuff I looked at it, and if I was teaching, if I was in a classroom or on board the aircraft carrier, we didn't go at that level. You have to understand what a thousandth of an inch is first, and how many thousandths of an inch make an inch, and then go from there, and then incorporate it into the dynamics of sizes. The other problem you run into with the Chinese product is we're still on the standard American equivalent, SAE. Okay, we're still on the American scale. They're on metric. It does throw some curves when the damn thing does turn out to be metric and you get an SAE part. It may not get along with what you have. So I preach about this dumbing down of America, and a lot of people, they might think that I'm throwing an insult at them because you don't you have to, before you work with mechanical stuff and you buy welders, and you can buy every tool in the world. I see guys, they have a lot of tools, but they don't know how to use them or what the potential of the tool is. That's why I'm out there building a bike, an entire bike, because you don't have to go through that. You don't have to build yourself a goddamn tool shop because you want to build yourself a toy. You just pay what the guy wants. And a lot of people, sometimes it's a mental therapy. They're going to build a bike or something. I understand the therapeutic value and stuff like that, because I drag stuff home here, and first of all, I assess its potential for what it's worth and to what I want to pay for it. You have to do the same thing in your mind. Is it going to be worth it? Is the outcome going to be worth the expense? And am I really going to enjoy this thing? Well, I enjoy the shit out of my motorized bike. I don't know about anybody else, but I can go places with it. And here, the cops really don't bother you around, at least where I live here. And they all know me, mostly from the newspapers or the racetracks or whatever. Hey, you're you know, or oh, you look familiar. And then I tell people. So I really don't get bothered, but I do enjoy hopping on that bike instead of spending $10 in gas to go for a pack of cigarettes, this, that, and the other thing. I mean, I can go, I can get milk, I can get soda. Like I said, I throw that big milk crate I have, I just take ties and tie it to the back of the bike, and I go get my stuff. But it keeps money in my pocket, and it has a therapeutic value. And I really haven't altered that bike all that much since I built it. It's held up. I didn't treat it like crap. I don't let it out in the rain. In the spring, I take it out, I clean the carburetor out, and it fires right up. Now, every now and then, you'll get a bike that's a problem child. You bought something, and it looks really nice, and it looks like it was what it was supposed to be. I do get parts that are bad. It looks perfect, and something's just not functioning on the bike. You can go through $50, $100 just trying to straighten out a bad carburetor, one of those performance carbs. You know, sometimes I got to buy 2, 3, 4 carburetors until I get one good one. And that's even Matt. I got some carburetors through him from another vendor that he had no use for them, and he wasn't riding his bike or whatever, and he just said, here they are, I got these from Matt or whatever. And there was 3 of them in the box, and there was only one good one out of the 3 of them, and they were all brand new. I could tell they were never used. They couldn't smell gas on them. So it's not Matt's fault. It's not my fault. And have I built a turkey bike? Yeah, every now and then you get that one lemon. It looks nice, it's what it's supposed to be, but it's not. So the therapeutic value of this is to know what you're doing, know what the better products are, and buy off the guys that have the better products, because I have it. But I can't convince you or anybody else. You just have to go out and do your own thing. And as I said, the market is price driven, and that's where I'm going to end the video. You get what you get. You want lemons, you order lemons, you want to play the lemon farm, as I call eBay and the rest of it. That's like rolling your dice. I'm buying stuff now. It's taken 2, 3, 4 weeks to get here. You know, it says shipping a week or so or whatever. It ends up to be 2, 3, 4 weeks till I get the shit. You want to build a bike for spring, now's the time to start building it. It's January. It's Happy New Year's, guys. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. I was only kidding about the yarmulke. There's only about that much Jew in me. And especially when it comes to money. That's a joke. Anyway, part of our family is Jewish, so just I'm not bashing anybody, the other half. That's what happens when you have a multicultural family. You got to watch what you say, who you say it to, and when you say it to them. Have a happy holiday, guys, and watch the junk farm, watch eBay, watch the products, watch what you're doing with your money, and buy it from the guy that's invested in the trade. That's the better guy. And there's guys out there. There are guys in different cities now, because I'm meeting them on Facebook and other websites. So there are guys that are playing with this, and as the honest guys are going to tell you, they're not making a living out of it, believe me. But it is a good extra income when a guy wants and says, can you get me a bike, or do you have a bike, or do you have anything, or can you do something? Sure, I can. You know, it ends up to be $800, $1,000. I don't make the prices of this shit, and I'm not going to buy the cheap Chinese junk and say, here it is. I'm just not made out of that. So justify in your mind what you're going to do, how you're going to go about things, what your expenditure is. And if you're going to go out and buy a whole laboratory, as I call my shop, good luck to you, because there's thousands of dollars in here. you know, I looked at some of this stuff at some points here, and I say to myself, I don't realize I make that kind of money, but I guess I do, evidently, by what I have. I just don't think of it that way. So that's a lesson learned. It's a lot of preaching, but I need people to hear me out. And these bikes are a lot of fun. They're a freaking blast. I love them. So I don't know about anybody else, but I love my bike. Thanks, guys.